All right, this is a review of this 18-inch compound bolt cutter from Doyle. I bought this to do a project. I finished the project, so now it's time to see where the limits of this tool are. And I'll share my thoughts with you. I paid for this with my own money, and this is my own opinion. Let's go. Here is my setup. First, I'll try to cut these 1/8 inch nails. Then we're moving up to 5/32 deck screws. Then 5/32 drill bit. Then moving up to a 1/4 inch chain, a 1/4 inch carriage bolt, 5/16 bolt, a 1/4 inch padlock, and finally 3/8 bolt. This is outside of the capacity of the tool. Harbor Freight states that the maximum capacity here is a 1/4 inch. This is the compound bolt cutter, so my understanding is that it sacrifices some width, some capacity in exchange for more leverage. Let's get to it. All right, let's take it to the limit. Wow, okay. Well, it cut through all 9 of these bolts at the same time. That's a good start. I feel like here it's thicker than here, so let's do both. Wow, this was effortless. These were a lot stiffer than just the one deck screw. Next up, the drill bit. Wow. Are you not entertained? Holy moly, that little thing caused so much damage. Shocking. This one actually left a dent here. It cut from the edges here, and the middle point just got chewed off more so than cut off. But it did cut it. With that said, let's cut the other end of the drill bit. This is so easy, effortless. And this side, also pretty easy. Huh. Cutting the other side of the drill bit caused no damage at all. Next up, we're moving to a 1/4 inch carriage bolt. Zero problem, just fully zero problem. Too easy. Next up, 1/4 inch chain. Well, let's see. Cut through it. Wow. Well, I lost the other piece, but it definitely cut through it. The chain was actually harder than I expected. It's definitely harder than the bolt. 5/16 bolt. No problem. Pretty effortless. No problem at all. Next up is this padlock with a 1/4 inch lock on the side. And this lock is actually made in the USA. I wish it still worked. Slaymaker. All right, Slaymaker, it's you versus the Doyle bolt cutters. And the moment of truth. Wow. This was actually as easy as a chain. Yeah, no problem at all. So with these hardened steels, I'm seeing that it cuts only at the edges here, and then just the pure force snaps the middle piece off. Fascinating. Finally, this 3/8 grade 5 bolt. I don't know if we can actually open the jaws quite as oh yeah, it's in the middle of the jaws when they're fully open. Let's see if we can cut this. Oh man, it's gonna be hard. Wow. Let's reposition here. Wow. Oh, here you go. Let's see if there is any damage. I mean, there is damage to the bolt for sure. Damage to the cutters. I think the only damage was actually just from the initial drill bit. Wow. So there you go, this is the summary. First off, we were able to cut for 9 1/8 inch nails at the same time. It took some effort, but it cut right through all 9 of them. The deck screws, 5/30 seconds, absolutely no problem at all. The drill bit, oh my goodness, this is actually the only thing that did damage to these bolt cutters. You can see here, I regret cutting this because this damaged the bolt cutters right here at the point where you have the highest leverage. So if you can help it, don't cut drill bits. From there on, 1/4 inch carriage bolt, 0 issues. 1/4 inch chain, it does cut it. It is a bit harder than the carriage bolts. 5/16 bolts, no problem at all. The 1/4 inch padlock, no problem at all. These two were actually a roughly similar level of difficulty. I was surprised. Expected this to be a lot harder to cut than this. Finally, the 3/8 bolt, grade 5. This is not a cheap bolt. It did cut it. It has the capacity. It is work, it is effortful, and I had to readjust a couple times to make the cut, but it did work. So in summary, are these a good unit? Yes, I say I recommend them. I was actually surprised how much I like the longer handles. Not just because of the extra leverage, but also because it lets you reach things on the ground without having to lean forward so much. So it saves you back a little bit. And it also helps keep your hands off of the ground and far away from pokey objects or poison oak. And finally, the blade itself seems to be actually pretty good. I cut a lot of things with it and it kept its sharpness pretty well. As for cons, I think the biggest con here is that although the blade is a wearable item, Harbor Freight does not sell replacement blades. I hope they fix that. If you found this informative, give me a thumbs up or subscribe for more reviews. And thanks again for watching. On to the next one.